they were like 2 steps away from amputating that leg. That's how bad it was. So in 11 months or 14 months or whatever it's been since the wreck, can he be that much better that he can take the pounding of walking Augusta National for 4 days and contend? I can't say no because he's proven us wrong so many times. But I think, and no pun intended here, but I think this is a very big hill for him to climb to try to make the cut and contend. But again, he's proven me and a lot of my cohorts wrong so many times, nothing surprises you anymore.
No, it doesn't. But like I said, I think it's really, really difficult spot for him to be able to walk 4 days in a row, and not just walk 4 days in a row, but play golf at a high level and swing the club and all the other stuff that he's got to do while he's walking.
There was a post on Twitter the other day from a guy, I don't know who he was, but he said, I don't understand why everybody's getting so caught up in this walking stuff. Augusta National is basically a flat course. Now, I don't normally engage people much in those kind of conversations, but that one just struck me the wrong way. So I retweeted back and saying, I've walked that place 10 times, over 10 years, I mean. And I'll give you an example of how wrong you are. Number 10, from the tee down to the green, it's like a ski slope. I mean, there's no way to stop. If you get going, if you were on skis, you couldn't stop. And I said, here's my analogy. If somebody drove me down from the tee to the green and said, okay, you have to walk back up that hill, I might still be walking. Because it's straight back up this and I don't know what the angle is or any of that, but it's a steep slope and it's a hard walk. I don't know if it's realistic for him to be able to do that. If it does, all that's going to do is just add to his legacy of, he's the greatest athlete, he's the greatest golfer, he's the greatest whatever, because he just shouldn't be able to do it.
No, absolutely. And I think the other part of it is, at least in my mind, I would say if he finishes in the top 20, it's an incredible, almost unthinkable accomplishment, given everything that's going against him right now physically.
Agreed. I'm of the same mindset.
Now, obviously, he's the story we'll talk about early and whatnot, but there's a lot of other really good players in this thing. And, it's funny that the history in golf, one of the things about golf that I like is that many of the players understand the history, and many of obviously the people that cover it, and it's a part of it. And, Rory McIlroy is a guy that people have talked about that, can he finish the career Grand Slam? And right. This is the one he needs, obviously. There's some school of thought that his days of winning majors are over. I don't know. I mean, I still think he's really good, but we haven't seen him put 4 really, really good days together in a while, I think, at least in a major event.
No, we have not. You're absolutely right. I give him credit, and maybe too much credit, but I watched his interview the other day in the press building, and he has come so far as a man from that, the giggling Irishman that broke his way into the PGA Tour and was a dominant player for a while. Can he win a major, especially one like Augusta? I suppose he can. I mean, he's still long enough. That's not a problem. But can he hit those kind of shots that he needs to hit that are unique to Augusta National. It's not just hitting it 400 yards down there. You got to know how to play the fairways. And then the hard part comes when you got to know what's going on those greens. There are so many different levels to the greens and the slopes, and you have to learn how to do that. Now, he's been around long enough that he should know that. But can he go out there and do that under pressure? I don't know. You might be right. Those days may be beyond him now. I hope not, because it's nice I enjoy watching tournaments when he's in contention.
Well, I would say that's the thing. That's the thing, and he's obviously a guy we enjoy watching. What's interesting is, and most people that really just kind of casually follow golf probably don't understand what makes majors really difficult to win is, obviously the courses are difficult, but the other part of it is you basically have the best of the best in all of these fields. So he could play really well and still not necessarily win the thing, because there's a whole lot of other really good players that are playing in this thing.
You just look just off to the side for a minute and put McIlroy over here, and he's a really good player. We know that. But think about this. You got guys like the number one player in the world, Scottie Scheffler. Nobody's talking about him. Dustin Johnson's getting a little bit of consideration. Jordan Spieth's getting a little bit of consideration. John Rahm, he's getting a little bit of consideration. But there's so many of them. It's not impossible, but it's very, very difficult to even think about trying to pick who's going to end up standing up at the end. Who would have thought the Japanese Murakawa would have been the guy last year to win? But on that day, he played the best, and he was a winner. So there are a ton of talented guys that are going to be there starting tomorrow. That's what makes this, the best, because this field is the best. There aren't a lot of guys who are 125th on the PGA Tour rankings that are in this field. This is the top 100 tops. So it's going to be interesting to see. I always enjoy watching it, and there's no less interest on my part this year. I'm really pumped for it.
Well, last one for you. I know it's hard to handicap, but are there a couple of guys you like? That you feel like there's a couple of guys that we will be watching on Sunday on the back nine competing, and if you want to give us your thoughts on maybe even a winner, that would be great too.
If you're going to say a couple guys, I would say Jordan Spieth and Jon Rahm, just because of especially Spieth. He's won there. And I can remember doing my show back in the year that he won. I said, I'm done trying to pick winners. I'm just going to mark Jordan Spieth as the winner in every major, because he was just dominant then. Now, he's not dominant now. He's still a very good player. But the knowledge that he has of that course and how things go out there, I think that can be very, very valuable. Rahm, he's a number one player. He's been a number one player. There are lots of majors left in him. He's going to do that. Whether it's this week or not, I don't know. Those are the two that are at the top of my list. And if you force me to make a winner, I'm going to say Spieth.
Okay.
For better or worse. I don't have any money on it, so it doesn't really matter. But that's who I think he's playing fairly well, and it might be one of those deals where he gets back to Augusta, and all of a sudden he starts feeling it again, and who knows? He could win the thing.
Well, Mike, I appreciate you jumping on, and of course your show's 8 a.m. Saturdays, right? For people that want to tune in and listen.
7 a.m. actually.
Oh, 7 a.m. on Saturdays.
You're not up at that hour.
Well, we'll have to. Sometimes I am, but at 7 a.m., if I'm up that early, I'm teeing off basically. So
yeah, I know. Well, we'll have to tee off after 8 a.m.
We'll do that soon. As soon as it gets nice out, buddy.
Okay, I'm in.
All right, that's Mike Dudurich. I'm Paul Zeiss. It's 93.7 The Fan.
Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Chevrolet, your Pittsburgh Chevy headquarters.
Cole Tucker has actually been playing some in the outfield, and likely we'll see some time in the outfield early in the season, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be a mainstay in the infield as well at both short and in second base and at second base. For more information, go to 937thefan.com.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 8:45 for our segment, This Hits Different, with host Shelby Cassesi. A fresh look at the area high school sports scene with a different take. Brought to you by